The use of personality tests in hiring is very debated in my field, industrial organizational psychology. And the director of the program where I graduated with my PhD was a guru in it. So let me share what I learned from him and others. My overall thoughts are that personality can be relevant to specific jobs. However, most companies do not hire the work to make sure that they are accurately assessing personality, that they are proving it is related and necessary for the job. And a lot of it is based on gut similarity and, as always, attraction to extroverts and people who are culturally similar to them. Some jobs do require personality skills. I mean, you do not want someone who is not agreeable working directly with your customers in many situations. Of course, that might vary. You may need somebody to give a little tough love every now and then. I'm usually that person. But you can't have someone who is trying to sell phones at AT&T, for example, who doesn't have any interpersonal skills and who doesn't enjoy it. That's also important. IO psychologists like myself, we don't do the whole personality profile thing. And those are what a lot of people like. I hate to break it to you, the Myers-Briggs is bullshit. That was made up between a mom and a daughter, in their home. Enneagram has a little more support, but not much. And those are fun. I enjoy reading Enneagram stuff, but I don't treat it with scientific validity necessarily. IO psychologists more think of personality on a spectrum, and based on a lot of research, we think of it in these main 5 categories: extroversion, neuroticism, openness to experience, agreeableness, and conscientiousness. The one of these that on average has the strongest correlation with most job performance, not all, is conscientiousness. Conscientiousness is generally defined as the tendency to be careful, on time for appointments, to follow rules, and to be hardworking. But again, it depends on the job. Because while you might want this for someone who's customer facing and you maybe don't want them to have to wait long or keep customers waiting, this isn't necessarily going to be someone who's a great innovator who might work at Apple, for example, where their whole ideology and the why behind their company is breaking the status quo. When you hire based on personality too, you need to have predetermined, again, based on research and validation on how relevant to the job it is, how much weight that personality trait in particular, is going to have in the decision-making process. We talk a lot right now about personality hires, and we also see a lot of problems with people who have very likable personalities but don't know how to do their jobs. Personally, I've never used one of these 5 when I'm hiring. However, I have designed structured interview questions to look at things like customer service orientation, empathy, and willingness to learn, which could arguably be openness to experience. But again, it was an interview and not like a test. Sometimes these can be useful for if you have rated people equally in an interview and you just need a deal breaker. But again, it needs to be very valid, not just in proving how it's related to the job, but making sure you're measuring it in an effective way and not just going with your gut feeling, because otherwise this can be very discriminatory against people who we have a bias against not fitting a personality type, like people who are neurodivergent, and even people of color who are perceived as more aggressive and less likable due to stereotypes.